old friend Pat Robertson, who those of us on this show are pretty convinced moonlights as a Nigeria email writer, telling you that a prince just needs $1,000 from you in order to open up a secret bank account for $5 million. Pat Robertson was on his usual haunt at the 700 Club about, I think, last week.
This was last week, yes.
And he got an email about ISIS, because, you know, ISIS, in addition to crucifying people literally and burying children alive in graves and murdering and raping and bringing Yazidi women into sex slavery and putting suicide bombs in Shiite temples and going on just this and seeking to ethnically cleanse Kurds and going on this sort of almost religious fanatic version of Khmer human rights abuses, Khmer level human rights abuses. What they're also doing is destroying history. They're going into museums, they're destroying artifacts, they're destroying, and that's part of their particular variant of their small, narrow, fanatical view of their religion. Yeah?
I was going to help you out there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Artifacts, historical documents, just things you would find in a museum that are irreplaceable, priceless items that tell history.
Right. So they're destroying them. And somebody had to ask asking Pat Robertson about preserving history or the Middle East would, in my view, be like asking Chris Brown about your relationship issues. But that said, somebody did take it upon themselves to ask Pat Robertson, and let's hear what he had to say.
I watch ISIS and other groups considered part of the terror network. I see that they have gone into what is geographically explained as Nineveh, destroying artifacts. But it looks to me like they're destroying ancient idols that God instructed the Israelite leaders to destroy. And I'm not sure I'm against them destroying these artifacts, although I don't support their activities.
What they're doing, these are statues of kings. These aren't heathen idols. They're statues of the various kings of that era, and they're tremendous artworks. So, I mean, this isn't some heathen idol. By all means, if they were having some heathen deity and this was some mount where they're offering sacrifices, by all means, destroy it. But the other, I think, it's just art.
I don't think we can appreciate anything ISIS is doing.
The Taliban was destroying statues of Buddha that they thought were very, but Buddha's a different religion. But the statues, they going to Nineveh, I mean, this is the historic record of a very ancient people, and to take that away is just criminal.
Okay, so that's really nice. So Pat Robertson has to kind of say, well, these is from Nineveh, and that's historical. And his little trusty co-host has to come in and say, yeah, I don't think any of us are backing anything ISIS is doing. And Pat Robertson has to come in and be like, yeah, but I don't know if y'all remember a nice band of fellas called the Taliban, and they were sort of ISIS before ISIS was cool, and they did something great to them Buddha heathen statues in Afghanistan.
What has been Pat Robertson's recent kick about Buddhism and Buddha?
Maybe
the
one
yoga thing,
maybe one of his nephews or something.
He lost someone to Buddhism. That's for sure.
He lost somebody to Buddhism, or he wanted to go in on a scam with somebody to sell fake gold or something, and they didn't respond to his proposal, and he found out that person was a Buddhist. Or he just I don't know, maybe he just doesn't like Asian people. And he says that's Buddhism. I really could not tell you what Pat Robertson is, but I did love the shout out to the Taliban. I thought that was great. He's just like, well, let's be fair. There was this group called the Taliban, and they were kind of the indie version of ISIS is just so crude. But the Taliban, they had something going for them.
I wonder how actual historians and archivists and museum curators, I wonder how they feel about the whole destroy it if it's a deity type of...
probably do. I would like to write that. It would be a fun college piece to write. Well, that's an actual king, so preserve it. But, religious art, blow that shit up.